Everybody, SonGoshuaku here, ready to review Dragon Ball Episode 7 of DAIMA. Collar is what it is called. So, we kick things right off with what looks like to be a new intro. So, new frame in the intro, basically showing King Kaden, and we even have the Minotaur there, and along with all his other, soldiers and everything. Like I said, I still wonder, the woman right there with the blue skin, I wonder if she's going to be, someone who's going to be a very formidable ally. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there in terms of that. And then one of the things that I couldn't help but notice here that we do get is that with the Minotaur, is he going to be coming back in the series, or was he just there to be there? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there from that standpoint. And then we kick things off in the episode. So there you have the heavenly realm known as Kami's Lookout in the dub, and Bulma, aka Gomah, she is very angry because she put her heart, her soul, everything into this, only for it not to work with the ship, and she's getting annoyed. There's a lot of banter back and forth between Piccolo, Vegeta, and she's just getting all in Vegeta's ear, and you can tell he's looking annoyed. And I mean, like I said, if you put this much time into a project as Bulma, aka Gomah, then man, look what happened. I mean, how would you feel, right? So then there we have Piccolo, and he's just wondering, okay, what now? What are they going to do to get to the demon realm? And out of nowhere, you have the ship arrive, and already I love Vegeta, despite how annoyed he was. Man, look at him, he's on guard, and the first thing he does is he gets in front of his wife, making sure that the first thing is going to be protected is Bulma. And man, I thought that was just a really nice, sweet touch. And there you got Vegeta's on business, Piccolo's on business, and the ship starts the door starts coming down, and Vegeta and Piccolo are ready to fight. And it's Hibiscus, I think that's how you say his name. He's basically stated that, hey, he's come from King Kaden on request of King Kaden to bring you to your friends in the demon realm. And they're like, huh? Who the heck is this guy? And he's looking at them, and they're still looking at him, and he's looking back at them. And I'd be like them, like, what the heck is this guy? Who the F are you? Yeah, I mean, that face would freak me out as well, right? So then we go back to the demon realm where they're in the ship. So you get these little, I don't know, burnt looking chocolate, little round donut things or whatever. I think they were called dumplings. Let me see here in my notes. I believe I wrote, Panzy says that they are known as, let me see, did I actually put that in my notes? Yeah, the Mampuka dumplings, which is enough to fill up for, in terms of 2 meals worth. So you eat one of these, 2 meal, it'll be like you had 2 meals in your body in just one bite. I think a lot of us could probably use that in the morning if we don't have time to fix some breakfast and everything. So Goku goes ahead and he starts chomping on one. And he's like, and then his stomach goes, like, it makes this weird noise where the stomach goes like, because it's gotten bigger. And then Goku's like, all right, let me take another bite. And then he goes, the thing gets bigger, like, when you see it in motion, I actually thought this was pretty hilarious. This was funny. It's probably the funniest thing I've seen in a long time with Son Goku eating, and I mean, that I thought that was pretty hilarious. And Glorio's like, this guy can't be real, right? So he is stuffed, and there you got Panzy in the background, like I said. 2 meals is all that it takes. And Goku's response with a big giant belly is to say, oh yeah, it's starting to get me full. Keywords, starting. Gotta love Son Goku. And she's like, oh man, I can't believe it. She's like, I can't believe that you're an adult, yet you act like a kid, and you raise 2 kids. So, in a lot of ways, Panzy, despite being a kid in terms of her own demon respective years, yeah, she can't believe that Goku, how did you raise kids like this? And as the ship is going further into the distance, Goku hits her with the response, well, I really wasn't involved. There you go, folks. Son Goku has admitted for everyone that says he's a horrible father, he's a terrible father, you can't beat the man himself. Son Goku admitting, you heard it right there from there. He's a horrible father, and the man himself said so. It kind of reminds me of that, if you guys are a WWE fan, you remember the Big Boss Man, God rest his soul. He once broke into like the Big Show's mother's house, and he says, now say it. I said, say it. And he goes like, were you or were you not married to the Big Show's father before he was born? And she says, no, I wasn't. He said, you see, Big Show, you're a big fat bastard and your mama said so. Classic WWE fans from the 90s will know what I'm talking about, but that's kind of what this scene was like. You see, Goku's a bad father and he said so. All right, so there you go. You guys got a big W there for those that believe it. Like I said, I still stand by what I always say, which is that Son Goku, I will never call him a horrible father, but I will never call him a great father either. He's always all right. He's okay. He's a little maybe step below solid of a father, right? He's not always there, but when he is there, he makes it count. The training in the Room of Spirit and Time with Gohan, believing in Gohan when no one else could with the Cell Saga, the two sacrifices against Raditz and Cell. You look at the emotion of Gohan hugging his father before he goes to fight Boo. You look at the emotion of Chi-Chi, Goten, and Gohan running towards Goku. It's clear to me that Goku, despite his upbringing, he did the best of what he could do. But obviously when it comes to raising Gohan and Goten, I don't put Piccolo there. Piccolo was a mentor to him. Chi-Chi, she's the real MVP. Chi-Chi is the one that raised that boy. So let's keep on with the story here. All right, so we got through space where we're seeing Hibiscus is coming by with Piccolo, Vegeta, and Bulma, but there is no Kibito, and that is because, well, as Piccolo states here, Kibito actually decided to stay back and look after the Heavenly Realm, aka Kami's Lookout. And so Moonra, aka Bulma, is completely amazed by the technology as it reminds her of the Dragon Radar that Hibiscus has. And I have to say, the technology, I mean, just the effects, the graphics, they look phenomenal there. And she just can't wait, basically, to see what else this can do. And this is how he is able to communicate with King Caden as well. And it was during this scene, actually, that he admits this is kind of a pain for him because he has a beauty appointment, and Bulma, aka Bulma, looks up at his hair, and she's like, oh, and she's like, even in the demon realm, they care about beauty and all that stuff, which is obviously Bulma knows a lot about. And that's where King Caden is communicating with Hibiscus as they go ahead and enter. Goku is a straight fool. Like I've been saying through this whole entire reviews of Dragon Ball Daima, Goku's a fool. He's on the window. Alrighty, and then they finally pan out. Oh my gosh, Son Goku. Let me take a sip of water break here. All right. Or what's that thing they do in anime? Right. And so, yeah, Panzy is looking out the window, and this is where she starts to notice that the Gendarmerie is following them, and she's like, we have got to lay low. We got to, we don't want these guys on our track. And she says, we got to. And so Glorio takes the ship, and they're like, look over there, because they don't see it. Panzy can, and he actually takes out like this little what is it called, microscope, and the microscope, and sees oh no, is that called a microscope? I forget. My terms is all off, but you guys know what I'm talking about. A thing where you can see further distance. He sees that the Gendarmerie are near, and Goku, the East Kaioshin, Glorio, obviously they can barely see it, and he mentions how that that Panzy has a really good eye for it. And so that makes sense because, well, I mean, what I wonder is, just like Piccolo has super hearing, that means Panzy has supervision, so she can see far distance away. So that's pretty cool to see. So they quickly turn the ship around to go the opposite way, and then boom, right there you see how Goku's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. The Gendarmerie, the other ship was following behind them, goes right back and tells them, you better follow us or else. And so now they're being tracked by both Gendarmerie. It's like, man, someone who did something really bad, and they're getting followed by the police at this point, and now they're just trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this? They're thinking that they must be on to him. How did they know Goku was with them and everything like that? And they're trying to figure out this plan. What are they going to do to get out of here? And it's from here that Panzy thinks maybe it's not so much that they're necessarily after Son Goku, but rather she mentions how they did track her. They did track her with her collar, and she mentions how when you have this collar, basically that's how they can constantly find you. And so they are on guard. They said something was suspicious about them the other day when they looked at it, and so they're trying to figure out here, realizing something's going wrong. And the East Kaioshin makes mention how if you go back a few episodes prior, there was a guy that tried to run, and he pointed that thing towards it and zagged that guy right back in front of him. So it doesn't matter. So yeah, clearly this collar gives a lot of people, gives them the power against everybody in the third world, because she mentions there's a lot of unruly people in the demon realm. And so they end up landing on the ship, and East Kaioshin, he basically ends up telling Goku, okay, let's have you hide back here, so they don't recognize it, because remember, they're trying to stay on the down low. Sure, it's easy to beat up these guys, but they want to keep a low profile. So they're going to comply. And so the ship comes down, and East Kaioshin is like, is there a problem? Like I said, it really sounds like a lot of police. Like, often if you get pulled over, you don't know why. That's usually the first thing you would say. Is there a problem, officer? And you have Goku. He's back there, and he's ready. Goku's ready to strike, because he ain't got no tolerance for these people. And so from there, the Gendarmerie guys, the military police, the people that work for Gomah, they end up going ahead and entering. And man, these guys are jerks, complete a-holes, just throwing out their stuff with no care in the care in the rail in the world, going all over this place. You have right there, Panzy is trying to keep her mouth shut and everything, because she's like, oh snap, they're gonna find Goku, but nope, Goku ends up going ahead, patting her on the shoulder behind, like, oh, I'm here. And she's like, yeah. And then he's just like, no, we gotta keep on guard, and then I love this part right here where the military police guy, he looks over like, and then he looks over at Glorio, and Glorio's like, and then the guy turns back like, okay, the dude's just acting stupid. And then after that, Glorio lets down like relief. So I thought that was pretty funny. And they're trying to keep Panzy quiet. So Goku goes running off into the distance in the bushes, jumps in there, and then just don't bring this guy on a stealth mission, all right? Because what's the point of getting in the mission where you're gonna poke yourself back out to go ahead and wave? Like, no, we need to stay hidden. And so Glorio's like, all right, you find everything what you were looking for. And Goku's looking, it's like, oh, we got these guys in there, and everybody's thinking, and they think everything's good because they couldn't find nothing. So this jerk right here, he boom, he's walking towards Panzy, and Glorio's like, oh, hey, buddy, you don't need to be coming over here. And then the Glorio's like, man, F out the way. Like, dang, okay. I'm like, all right. So he's going right up to Panzy, and he's mentioning how there was a mass Majin, and that you seem to fit the description quite well, so we need you to come with us. And they're bringing up about how, yeah, when Panzy nearly gas bombed them, and she's like, I don't want to go. And he's like, no, I don't care, you're gonna go, and grabs her. Man, these guys are just jerk. They treat whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, grown adult, the elderly, or a child. They just think they can just run right into your ship, throw your belongings everywhere. They'll grab a child by the arm and say, no, you're coming with us. And like, man. And so this remind me right here where Panzy, she ends up basically pulling out I forget what Denzel Washington's character was on the old 1980s movie called Soldier Story, where he's like, get your effing hands off me. That's exactly what she does here. Boom. electrocutes that guy. He loses his pupils. He is done. Serves him right? So yeah, she hit him with electrocuted Denzel Washington style from his character in Soldier's Story. And so these guys, they're all ready to fight. See, just think about these jerks. They're okay treating people any old kind of way, and then when people give them that same energy back, now they mad. Now they feel like, oh no, you only supposed to do what we do. So at this point, Panzy, East Kaioshin, Glorio, they're like, all right, F these guys. We on business. We've been called. Ain't no need to act like we defenseless anymore. Sip of water here, because it's time for some play-by-play. So this first guy comes running in. East Kaioshin flies right into the screen, basically puts that hand back. Boom! First person perspective. Chop that guy out. He's on the ground watching the fight. This is the point where, once again, if you're a fan of the Friday series, you go like, young man, you got knocked the F out. And I love the perspective of still seeing them fighting, and it's cool to see East Kaioshin fighting because we never got much of him fighting. The one time, right, he fought Piccolo and made Piccolo give up right before the fight even started, and then we saw him get destroyed by Fat Majin Buu basically multiple times. So it's cool to see East Kaioshin showing off why he is in the position that he is in terms of his power and speed. And boom, basically, knocks this guy out of the frame. This guy comes, boom, trying to go ahead and hit East Kaioshin. East Kaioshin jumps up, about to, once again, if you're a Naruto fan, hits him with, I believe that was the Leaf Hurricane, right? I think that's what it's called, at least in the dub. And I love Glorio, my man, looking at here. Now, I think this was the guy. This is the guy that put his shoulder on Glorio and told him get the F out the way. Now, Glorio don't gotta act defenseless. Oh, this guy was gonna get it. So the guy swings at Glorio, and he got about 2 strands of hair. He got 2 strands of hair. I think that's a better shot than the other guys got on Glorio that we've seen fight at this point. So this guy has proven that he is at least strong enough to at least get 2 strands of hair from Glorio. So let's see what Glorio does. So then the guy swings back over here to Glorio. Glorio gets his fist. Boom! Fade him with the fist. Actually went for the knee into the ribs. Ooh, and knocks that guy out. And then, no, you know what? Actually, I don't think it was that guy. This is the guy that I think went ahead. I mean, how can you blame me? Like I said, these guys look the same. Copy and paste villain number 1. Like I said, it's like a beat 'em up video game where they just create one character model and then they make all the enemies look like that model, and you're just beating up the same enemy one after another. So I don't think that guy was the one that put his shoulder on Glorio. I think it was this guy, because you could tell Glorio took this one personal. Boom, Glorio dodges the guy's technique, jumps right in, comes in with that fist. Look at that man's eye. He is like, so you want to put your hand on my shoulders? You want to tell me to get out the F out of the way when I'm the one trying to tell you not to go up to my comrades? Well, all right. Well, boom, punches this guy in the ribs. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, he took this personal. For him, it's not just good enough to punch this guy in the ribs and call it a day. No. He wants this guy to understand, you keep your hands effing off of me. So what does my man Glorio here do? Boom! Thunderbolt that man! Electrocuted him! Oh! That was personal, ladies and gentlemen. Oh! Look at the guy. He's like, oh! He is regretting putting his hands on Glorio at that moment. That man was purpled Pikachu'd. Oh man, that was glorious. That was glorious. Glorio went ham on that guy, man. And then you have the ships here. They try to take these guys' heads off, so they fly in the sky, and then basically they start shooting, and they end up getting Goku to come out of the bushes, and Goku's like, oh, and now they're running. So I really need to know what type of energy or key are these blasts made that they got these guys running instead of just spatting these things away. So I can understand Panzy because she's not much of a fighter, so she goes behind a rock here. This is a pretty cool looking scene. I don't think we see much of this in Dragon Ball, only because most ships that fire off blasts really never meant much to these Dragon Ball characters. But yeah, this right here made no sense though. You think they would want to run the opposite way. You even saw this when the military police, when the entire world military took on Cell. He flew away, and they were like, he's running, we got him. And Cell's like, oh no, I don't want them, I'm not running, I just don't want them to destroy my ring, because he put a lot of time into that ring. So what do? The first thing is they wanted to prevent confrontation, because to them preventing it would allow them to not have their ship get destroyed. And so what we get here is they go right in the direction of the ship. And I'm like, why would you do it? And they crisscross right at the ship. Like, why? Like, why would you take them to the ship? And then, of course, the ship ends up getting destroyed. I just don't understand that from a psychological standpoint. They could have went right. They both could have went left. They both go in the direction of the ship, crisscross, and leaving the ship to get I don't know. I mean, and I guess unless maybe they were hoping the ship was going to, the people on the ships were going to go ahead and follow them. But either way, I wouldn't want to risk running towards the ship. And Panzy is, I got to be thinking, she's like, what the heck did these guys just do, right? And Goku's like, oh, they're destroying the ship. And Glorio, he is mad. They zoom in his eyes. He said, first your mother effer's going to put your hands on my shoulder, and then you want to destroy my mother effing ship that's already gotten stored. And I had to, this guy's, he's had a lot of bad luck with ships, right? So he's just mumbling here. So that man starts charging up that Palpatine like energy thunder. Boom, shoots it in the sky, and bam, hits that thing, and all them guys come falling out. And these Gendarmerie guys, they are angry. And East Kaioshin, oh, he's got his hand. He's like, okay, boom, he does this little shockwave thing, hits them, and then bam, sends that thing flying into both. Bam, boom, beautiful blue explosion there. Bam, taking these guys out easily. Like, I was wondering why they didn't start doing that right away before they even started shooting from these planes. And I love this awesome shot. This is the winner shot, basically, right here. East Kaioshin and aka the Supreme Kai and Glorio have both won. And Panzy is like, yeah, but our ship, it's completely destroyed, and these guys are getting away. And you see in the corner, these guys are running around, and so they end up going in the sky. And I love this part where as they're about to get away, East Kaioshin, and very Pegasus, Paragus, if you guys remember Dragon Ball Super Broly, when that thing, that bug creature was about to attack Paragus, he goes like, Broly! And Broly just flies in and takes care of business. East Kaioshin's like, Goku! Now's your time! Goku runs after this, and whoa, you guys play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will know this move. This is, I guess they call it the one-arm Kamehameha, but I always just call it the Angry Fool Ki Blast, because, man, he hits him with the technique of Frieza, and it's like almost frame for frame with how it's done in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So Goku basically hits him with that, you fall! And it sends him, boom, hits him with the same, not the same impact, but almost the same energy he gave against Frieza, aka Frieza, back in the Frieza saga, right? And man, them things become apart. Boom, look at that, all the debris on business they sent flying off like it's Team Rocket, blasting off again. And they take care of that. And I know a lot of the audience are probably like, they should have just did that from the start, but they were trying to keep it on low so they don't get their spaceship destroyed. Well, what the heck was the purpose of that plan if they were just going to run towards the spaceship anyway? So yeah, if that was their plan all along, they might as well just gone ahead and do it. But now the East Kaioshin, as though they're happy, Goku's happy. They basically mentioned that this now means they're all are going to be fugitives, when this gets back to King Gomah. Let me take a water break here. All right, so Panzy brings out this machine that she then shoots at these guys who are completely knocked out, and what she says is it disables their tracking device, so that way they can't come finding them. And Goku taking a stick and just poking at the guy, like, yes, they're knocked out. What do you expect, Son Goku? But yeah, their ship is destroyed again. That was King Caden's ship, so man. But one of the Gendarmerie guys, they left their ship basically right there. So Panzy's like, hey, we can just use this. And I wondered, when they were thinking this, I was thinking like, oh man, are they gonna go ahead and have like some sort of tracker in there in that ship? Like, surely they have all their machines tracked. It's just like if someone decided to steal a police car, I'm pretty sure all the police departments would have a tracker in all the police vehicles. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. So East Kaioshin even makes a mention. It's a good thing those Gendarmerie guys threw. It's a good thing they threw out the all their luggage and stuff, because it would have got damaged had it stayed in the ship. And this is where Panzy gets upset, because she's like, even though they can't track us from those guys, they still can track our he says basically they could still track our they could still track our collars and stuff on there. And so she's like, no matter where she goes, they're going to be able to see it. And so the East Kaioshin says, let me go ahead and take a look at that. And so he observes it, and I believe the East Kaioshin in Japanese, he says it was called the Kachinku, which I think translates to Kashin. And a lot of us will, and he says he says that this is only can be attained from planet Kashin, where the Glens used to live. Now, Kashin was a metal that we will remember back in Dragon Ball Z, when they had Son Gohan pull out the Z sword. He created that and threw a big giant Kashin rock. I think he said it was like the hardest known material or metal in the universe, at least for now, probably Universe 7. And what happens is when that was strong enough that it broke the Z sword. So we're talking some pretty heavy duty material that this is made out of. And Panzy, like, she knows it's unstoppable, and mentions how a lot of them were born with this. When they're born, when the demons are born, the Majins and stuff, they're sent to the government in the demon realm to have these installed on their necks. And as you grow, that grows with you, which is absolutely awful, very terrible. And the East Kaioshin basically makes his suspicions that he believes his sister, Dr. Arinsu, is the one that created this, because she would have the power to do so, since it's something that all the Glens can do. And there was a cool animations they showed her throwing it there. Basically, that's probably how they clamped these on these people's necks. And like basically, it's sounding very hopeless here for Panzy. She won't be able to get this thing off her neck. And the Kaioshin's like, well, would you like me to go ahead and give it a try for you? And she's like, what? You could do that? And I thought it was funny, because it's all doom and gloom with the music. And he's like, oh yeah, but I can still take it out. Like, why give us this gloom and doom build up? So I thought that was pretty funny. So the East Kaioshin, he puts his two fingers on the collar, and he concentrates, and we see this cool energy and it forms around his fingers there, and he yells out, Pen Paka Pan. And with that, we see the collar glows, and it starts to crack, and boom, it breaks off into pieces off of Panzy neck, and she falls to her knees. And there you go, you can see right there, the entire material has been easily destroyed. And Goku's like, oh yeah, did it. And Panzy in victory is just happy to be free. She's been alive for 82 years, and this thing is finally off her neck. And there you go. This was a cool moment here, cool shot. I wonder if you're a Dub fan, you'll remember Piccolo going like, yes, I can do this. Yes, I win. He says, I'm invincible. I'm alive. I'm truly alive. Old Dub Piccolo, yeah, 1999 Dub. I wonder if anybody got vibed from that, but nonetheless, this is a cool moment. I think one of the more touching moments to know how long Panzy had to live with this thing around her neck, and the East Kaioshin just made her day. So I think that was really awesome. And he's like, don't mention it. No, it's no problem, no issue at all. So Panzy is now free, and then they head off into the Gendarmerie's ship, and they take off there. And it's from here that they start talking and realizing that, oh snap, we're going to need a new passcode in order to get into the second demon realm. And Panzy ends up mentioning that says, hey, she knows someone who can hack into this. So we get a look at this bug-looking guy, clear classic Toriyama design. And so he's like, yeah, I can definitely hack into the system. And so I believe he comes up with a new passcode of 1022, basically for when they get to the second demon realm, because he was able to hack into their system like that. And he also ends up basically letting them know that that their fellow friends have also arrived in the third demon realm, and would you like me to have them, let them know your location so they can catch up and stuff? And he's like, yeah, should we start waiting for them? And Goku's like, nah, I want to get to the fight the Tamagami. And so she's like, well, you heard the man, tell them goodbye for now, they can catch up. And East Kaioshin's like, do you think we're going into this battle with the Tamagami, should we really not wait for Vegeta and Piccolo to arrive? And Goku's like, nah, I want to fight and test them on my own first. So typical Saiyajin response. Let me take a water break here. All right, so we get this cool effect of the volcano going off, and here we are. Bulma, aka Bulma, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Hibiscus have all arrived in the third demon realm, and Bulma is first to notice that, wow, this place reeks. It stinks. Vegeta, he's traveled all over the universe. He's probably smelled much more worse, and I'm not sure how Namekian scent works, so Piccolo seems unfazed. And once again, clear Star Wars with the hologram. We get clear Star Wars references here, Toriyama being a big fan of Star Wars, and I thought this conversation was funny. So Hibiscus is like, can he go now? He said he's got a date, and King Caden's like, you don't even have a girlfriend, and he's like, I need you to guide them and stay with them. I'll pay you in as much pizza as you want. And so Hibiscus is like, sure, but make sure it's a large pizza with lots of worms on it. And she's like, what? Oh, that's what they eat out here in the demon realm? And she cannot Bulma cannot believe it at all. And there you go. You have Caden saying it's a deal. So we get this gorgeous backdrop of the sun setting as they land in this village. And there we go. We have our first look at the Tamagami. So, these things have been hyped up, and the music here changed a lot. Ominous, very ominous music. So it's like, okay, now we're getting down to serious business. So we get our first look at the Tamagami's legs. We get a look at its torso, and there you see it means all business. And there it is. They're right in front of it. These things are very stoic. They just sit there waiting for someone to challenge them for the Dragon Ball. And they look like machines and stuff. A lot of robotic design. So definitely clear Toriyama design there. And we get a look at the third Dragon Ball on it. And Son Goku mentions that this is as big as the Dragon Balls on planet Namek. And Goku, he is ready. He is excited to see what this thing has got. But first, there's one thing. First he actually mentions how big that mallet is and wonders if he's going to fight with it. And the Glorio ends up telling him, yeah, you better use your Neo Bow, aka Power Bow. And Goku's like, what? He says, I gotta fight with this? He said, that thing will destroy my Neo Bow. And Panzy's like, yeah, that's what we've been saying. No one's ever beaten these into a fight. She mentions even Dabura, aka Dabura, was not able to beat these things, which to us, the audience, what does that mean? We know Dabura is around perfect or super perfect Cell's power, because even after 7 years of training, even before Vegeta got the Majin boost in power from Babidi, we saw that obviously to Goku and Vegeta, he was no match for them. And when they fought each other at SS2, they were both way stronger than what Cell and what Dabura probably were. When we saw how easily Fat Boo was wrecked by Dabura, and we saw even Dabura even looked like he may have struggled with Gohan, who seemed to be a lot less stronger than what he was against Cell. So how big of a deal that is. And this is the reason I've been saying so many times through Dragon Ball DAIMA, is I really am wondering about the power scale of these Tamagamis, because they know Son Goku defeated Majin Buu, and Majin Buu is revered in both the outside realm and in the demon realm. And so are we supposed to basically believe, well, even Majin Buu couldn't have taken these Tamagamis on? So I really wonder where the power rankings going to be with these guys. Let me get a sip of water here. And so, before the fight can begin, because I'm pretty sure everybody was ready for the fight to start, Goku says he needs some more food and needs to use the bathroom. So they go to this nearby village because we can't get enough of these villages and these realms. We get some more eating some whatever these things are, and Goku's eating them good and all that stuff, and he's talking to this old timer and talking about how the Tamagamis have never lost a fight, and he gets pointed to where the bathroom is, and this guy's like, these kids, they're so carefree, they don't realize what they're getting themselves into if they were to fight the Tamagami and stuff. So he thinks the Goku's just some kid bluffing, and Goku comes out basically as soon as you hear the toilet flush, Goku comes right out, and I'm like, did the boy even wash his hands? Yeah, I don't know. Or he's just wiping them on his pants. And he's like, all right, I'm ready to fight these Tamagamis. And he's like, I'm all full. And Panzy is basically wondering, like, well, with Goku, like, didn't you just have 2 meals from those, dumplings earlier? He's like, yeah, but I needed some more. He said I didn't have to eat as much, only half. So Goku's ready, and he's ready to fight Tamagami. And Panzy's like, why is he like this? And in East Kaioshin, like, that's just how Son Goku is. And then we finally get to the episode. So with a little bit more filler stuff out the way and more hype out the way, it has finally arrived to this moment. After all the hype, the Tamagami, who we understand is Tamagami number 3, has a face-off with Son Goku. And Goku, he's telling everybody, stay back, I got this. So Goku runs right up to him, and the guy just yells out, what do you want? And man, this thing, sound waves are going all through them, and even I was watching this, I was like, whoa, okay. And this thing's creating a big giant shock wave in the whole area, and the old guy's like, oh snap, that kid was spitting, he actually gonna fight him for real? And Son Goku, basically, he's like, I love their son too. Their son has a 3-star Dragon Ball right there, so that's pretty cool in that tree over there. And Goku's like, yeah, I'm here to challenge you. And the Tamagami number 3, he basically pulls up his mallet and he starts switching the thing up like boom, goes ahead and does a very dramatic pose. Isn't that like the Sentai? I mean, the stuff that the Power Rangers was based off of. I forget the term for it, but they kind of do that epic pose. We've seen the Ginyu Force and stuff like that do that before. So he's on guard. He's like, all right, come on and challenge me. And so Son Goku, basically, not to be outdone, he's seeing this guy's got a lot of speed to be able to take a big giant mallet like that and throw it around effortlessly. Boom, he is ready to go. So Goku takes out his Neo-Bo, boom, and is ready, on guard. And there we go, both have their weapons, they're ready. So it's cool, we're gonna see a not just a hand-to-hand combat showdown, but a weapon showdown here in this episode. And Goku, he is ready, and boom, the episode ends. And what I really like about this, I used to see this a lot of effect, I think back in like Dragon Ball and Z, where they go from cell shaded animation to right here where it's a more painterly look. Of course, now that it's all digital, so we're going from digital cell shading up to digital paintings. Let me get another water break here. And we get our next episode preview, and because of course they waited. This reminds me of that episode, by the way, where they were hyping up Son Goku versus Cell, but there was that filler episode first where they had Mark Satan, aka Mr. Satan's pupils, fighting Cell first, and then you get to the actual manga material of Mr. Satan taking on Cell, and now they're like, on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Goku versus Cell. And you gotta wait the whole next day, or back then if you're watching, you gotta wait the whole other week to see it. So that's exactly what this reminded me. They definitely added some new lore I completely forgot. So before they hopped on board, the East Kaioshin was asked, what's your real name that you were born in the demon realm with, by Panzy? And he responds that his real name is Nahare. So there you go. We never knew that. Nahare is what the East Kaioshin's name is. And so Son Goku even makes a mention, okay, I'm going to call you that for right now, Nahare. And he's like, this doesn't sound right. I'm going to go back calling you Shin. And so that was interesting. So Nahare is his official name. So we got new lore here. And so now I will refer to the East Kaioshin as Nahare. So a lot of people have been complaining about the pacing in Dragon Ball Daima. I've been fine with it. This episode definitely took its time, I'll say that. But now episode 7, I think, has to deliver on the action side of things. It's been great. It's been fun watching Son Goku and Glorio and Nahare beat up a bunch of jabronis. It's been fun watching Panzy even go ahead and taser a bunch of jabronis. But now you've hyped up these Tamagamis, the real deal. This has got to be the true first great battle, not sparring, not just a quick job, some jobbers doing the job. Now we got to see the real deal. We got to know that the hype about these Tamagamis were the real deal. So we look at some of these shots here in the episode preview. The Tamagami number 3 is swinging this thing around. You get a great action shot of Son Goku standing right there on him, and basically, I love it how Goku definitely has his game face on. So obviously, typically, and it always makes sense, Goku's gonna do the filling out process first in base form to really get a judge on him. And I love how serious Goku is looking for this one and how quick he moves. And you got a backdrop right there where it looks like the Tamagami throws Goku and Goku comes back in with the Niobo and boom, whacks this guy in the leg, and boom, it looks like the Tamagami is gonna push Son Goku out of there. And right here, this shot right here, I didn't notice it in motion, but now that it's paused, looks like the Tamagami is going to do something where he shoots the ki blast and make it come up from shoots the ki blast under the ground and makes the blast come right back up. And you see, looks like Goku right there has blonde yellow hair, which is an indication that he is a Super Saiyajin, which obviously translates to Super Saiyan, but is pronounced in the dub as Super Saiyan. Whatever you want to call it, Goku is going in that form. So that's a good indication. So Goku's going to have to use more power, obviously. I'm really curious to know if this Tamagami is going to take him to Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3, aka Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3, because man, wow, that's going to be interesting to see how strong these guys are. And I think this impact frame looks amazing. The animation looks like it's going to be on point. We even see we've gotten more details in this review too. I mean, in this preview as well. So we get Glorio, who's obviously going to be in communication with Dr. Arensu. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this ends up going. And then we even see oh my gosh, Bulma, aka Bulma, cannot stand the smell of the demon realm. Even Piccolo might look annoyed, and Vegeta's definitely looking annoyed by it. So it's interesting to see where this is going to go. Or maybe I see it's nighttime. It's going to take them a long time maybe to get there, because if they're using the same ship as King Caden, obviously one of the things I forgot to mention too was that they mentioned that the Gendarmerie, they're able to fly twice as fast, which is why they were able to get there a day earlier. And so we even see we're going to get some more scenes with Dagetsu, and we're going to get some more scenes here with Gomah. And you see how shocked he is. What I'm thinking, I don't know, but what I'm thinking is right here, they're going to be watching the fight of Son Goku and facing the Tamagami, realizing they're trying to get those Dragon Balls. So I think that's where we're gotten right here. I love this shot right here. This is really good animation. This is what gives me hope. Like we've been seeing glimmers of how good the animation is in Daima. We're seeing it right here because boom, Son Goku basically ends up gets swinged on this big mallet, and he's look like he's trying to sneak attack. And man, this thing is moving around fast. You see the desperation on Goku's face, and I love this zoom out shot as he swings Goku off of his hammer into the ground, but Son Goku comes flying right out the ground and he goes in between the legs. That shot is awesome. Just man, this is fantastic right here. And you see right here, it looks like Goku, he goes ahead, he stops himself landing on his feet, and he's gonna fade to the left foot, but ends up going to the right foot and trips this thing. And I love this shot basically right here, and that's where it ends, and that's how we end for the preview on the next episode. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, Dragon Ball Episode 7 has to deliver on the action. Like I've said many times, I love the characters. I love the story. I love the lore building. I love Dragon Ball is so much more than just its fighting. However, the fighting is a big part of Dragon Ball. And now that all that stuff has been done, I hope that they're going to do that, because we're Episode 7. And I don't know if this series is going to be like 20 episodes or 25 episodes long, but we're nearly almost halfway done. So I hope we get some very heavy action plot points, as we still got 2 more realms to explore and learn more about their realms, and hopefully as we get towards the end here, nothing basically gets hopefully I'm hoping nothing will end up getting rushed in the end. So we'll see where we go. Now we're gonna move on to the chat. Not much going on here. I am doing this in the morning, but Da Bushes says, great commentary, cousin. Hey, thank you for the commentary. Thank you for the the compliments there. I appreciate it. Man, so yeah, hey, if you got any questions or anything you'd like to say about the episode, feel free to let me know here in the chat, as well as in the comments if you're watching this on demand. But that being said, I will be back for episode 8 of Dragon Ball DAIMA. In the meantime, you can go ahead and check out more content right there on the screen, and you can also follow my social media platforms right there below in the pinned comment. Until next time, see you.